Hi guys, welcome to my video and welcome to my year of long dogs. In this video I'm going to explain to you what my year of long dogs is going to look like for me, and I'm going to fill up my WIPGO board. I have an advent calendar which worked very well for me last year. It's a little bit something for me, a little bit something for you, so it all works out. And at the minute it is standing empty here, bar the elephant in the room, box number 10, which when I was emptying my advent my WIPGO tree the other day I did completely forget, and I had what happened to box 10? Well, box 10 didn't get opened, and inside box 10 I have got £12. So this illustrates exactly how my WIPGO tree works. So on my, in front of me here, I have got 24 little wooden, I've bought these little wooden forms to make touchy-feely dominoes for Richard and me to play dominoes with. But on 24 of them I have written a long dog. Here is Jack Be Nimble, here is Pandemic. I've put them on wood because a lot of these I am going to work on this year. They will not be finished. I think at the outside I might finish 2 or 3 of my long dogs in 2026. That might be all. We'll see. But most of them have got multiple thousand stitches, tens of thousands of stitches. Quite a few of them I haven't even started yet. I think I have got, let me find my bits of paper. Those are the ones I've started. Let me, non-coverage, long dogs here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of my long dogs I have not even started yet. So let's be fair, I'm not going to finish very many this year. Some of them are tiddly tiny, but the really small ones aren't going in my WIPGO. The WIPGO are for my long haulers. And then I've also got 24 little oval cardboard cutouts, which have got a non-long dog on them. This one is Sea Beacon, which is a Hayed Peekaboo. So each box, like box number 8 here, each box gets a wooden prompt, a long dog, and a cardboard prompt, a non-long dog in it. So when Jessie Marie spins her 2 numbers every month, I don't fill box 13. I have a box 13 because I'm an idiot when I painted my box up. My box 13 is box 25. Just so you know, that's how it is. So if 13 spins and we get an extra number, that just means 3 numbers in the month. I'm just going to stick to my 2 numbers a month, which is 4 focus projects a month. And it did work out really well for me right up until back end of October, November, which is when I get really busy. So I'm doing this on the understanding that the pieces that get left out, if they fall behind and get November, December, they're going to get left behind. I'm okay with that. I understand that that's how it's going to work, because that's how my WIPGO is going to work. My WIPGO is basically a 10-month WIPGO, but you have to put 12 months in your boxes, otherwise you're going to miss out on stuff. Because guarantee the second month that gets pulled one of the boxes you didn't fill, or one of the, so yeah. And then I'm ratcheting, and I want this to be a surprise. I'm doing this randomly this year. We're going to do this randomly. So I'm going to show you the piece. I'm going to pull the piece off the pile. I'm going to show you the piece. I'm going to find the chip, put it in a box, and once the box is full, it goes in. And hopefully I won't remember, because we've already obviously had the WIPGO calls for January. I don't want to choose my projects. I don't want to go, oh, I want to work on this, 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 and this in January and pick them. I want it to be random. So I'm going to try not to look at which boxes. I think it's 2 and 7. I will double check. But I'm going to try not to look at which projects I put in those boxes. And then at the end, I'll put all my boxes back in my tree. And in each box is a giveaway. For example, a pumpkin needle minder, a 2-hole thread, a 2-thread needle minder floss drop. At the moment, the way I'm currently making my needle minders, because everything is completely handmade by me, I don't magnet them up. This is a year before. This is Flossmas 2024. I don't magnet them up until I sell them now, because I had stock of several hundred needle minders all magneted up, and quite a lot of the outlay on needle minders is the magnets. So I now magnet my needle minders as they sell. So they'll be in the box like this. I'll give it away, and then when I've given it away and I've got the address, then I'll put the magnets on. That way I've got a stock of magnets. I'm always ready to go. But I've not got, it's not dead stock, but do you know what I mean? I've not got all my magnets stuck on needle minders that I haven't sold yet. I like to use my magnets once the needle minder's sold. Stupid explanation. That's why the giveaways I'm showing you aren't magneted, that's all. So, for example, in my box will be one of these, and one of these. And then when I meet my goals, my WIPGO goals, I will take them out and I will give away the giveaway. And for each goal that I complete, I'm going to put in, we're going coins this year. And I liked my £6, because that gave me, I made £217 last year, just saving gradually through the year. It's not a biggie on the big scheme of things, but it was really lovely. My Larry stand has arrived. My long dog patterns are safely stored in my drive. I've spent money. So yeah. Anyway, that is how this is going to run. So I'm going to start showing you some things. I'm going to put that £12 over there so I don't immediately lose it, because I can use that to buy groceries with. Okay, so let's make a start. Top of my long dog pile is this one. This I started last year. Oh, my book. Now my book, my beautiful long dog sampler notebook, is still not ready to go. I still need to stick in these. But my book here, each long dog sampler, let's find, Pointed Fifth is a really good example because I know I've written in it. Oh, Saga's good. Right, Saga here. So I've got a printout of the picture. I've got the name. I'll write the size and the total stitch count on it too. And then as I stitch on it, I will write the date, how many stitches I've done, total stitches altogether, and the percentage it's now at. And I'll do that each time I stitch on a piece, just to keep me right. And every single one of my long dogs has, and will have, see, there's Jack Be Nimble, total stitch count there, and I have worked on it. So in my book, so I'm going to keep my book up to date, and that will keep me right with how much. Look at this notebook. I bought this in Waterstones, which is a proper bookshop chain here in the UK, and I rootled through them, and this is the one, and I pulled all the ones I liked onto my lap, and this is the one that remains, so this is the one I bought. Anyway, there's my, that's in addition to my daily stitch count for everything book. Okay, so the first one here is Saga. I started it last year because I was sent a box of threads and fabric, all my colours, and it blew my mind. So I have got a full yard of 14 count, it was 28 count linen, so I'm stitching it 2 over 2, so it comes out at 14 count. This is Picture This Plus Flapper. Yeah, the light in here today is good. I've got natural light coming in, I've got the overhead lights on, and we are good. So what I've done, the threads aren't here actually, the threads are over there, is I've laid out all my colour threads from very palest pink right down through to green, very like my colourway for Pointed Fifth, but instead of doing a gradient where I blend, I am literally doing, I think it is 6 stitches, 2, 4, 6 bands of 6 stitches all the way across of each colour in turn. So I'm working on this one here, which is Emma's Pink, and then we're going to Bubblegum. Emma's Pink here, we go to Bubblegum, and then we go down into a Threadworks 11,005 there. So as you see me stitch this, you'll get what I do. But so I need to constantly move this in the frame because I'm doing this bit, I'm doing that bit, I'm doing that bit, I'm doing that bit. So it's on a constant churn, this is, and it's massive because Saga is one of the biggest. So last year I started it and I'm currently there. So as you can see, the pinks are coming down there, and sometimes my 6 strands, my 6 rows are very big, lots and lots of stitching in them, like at the top here, and sometimes when we're going down the columns it's quite sparse. I have not yet decided on which single colour I will fill the all the in-betweeny bits in. Like on my pointed fifth here, my in-betweenies are all 8, 2, 3 or 12. So anything that goes inside one of the archways is 8, 2, 3. I've not yet decided what I'm doing with Saga. I just started it. So Saga, marvellous. So I need a pile that I'm on there. And do I have my percentages? I do. So the ones that I've started, can't believe I'm that organised. Saga is currently at 4.34%. So I need Saga. Ta-da! And to go with Saga, this bag here is my Bothy Threads kit. So this was in December's WIPGO. It didn't get touched. Hence why I hope, oh no, I've immediately messed up. These are all my whips. I do need to stitch on this year. It's not gone in here. Right, I need to be a bit more careful what I'm pulling. All my whips are in here and not all of them are in WIPGO. Right, he's not. Let's find one that is. See, now I'm choosing. Oh, very similar. Here's Sea Beacon. Same colours, about the same shape piece done. So Sea Beacon is here. So Saga and Sea Beacon go in a box, and I put a gorgeous bunny needle minder in the box too. It is done. And I've got the boxes just lined up with it. I can't see the numbers on them, so I'm just top layering here. And I've taken them out randomly, so it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's all different numbers. Anyway, Sea Beacon is a peekaboo Haid. So it's just a slice of a very much bigger pattern. I've just shown it in my whip parade, but it's currently here. So it's the top of her hair. It's like this bit of her face. And I really like it. So I'm going to carry on with that a little bit. Now for goals, last year, most of my goals were 5,000 stitches, which was a bit hot. It was a bit much, especially as the year tripped on and I had less and less stitchy time because my time at home became kind of caring time as opposed to just get home from work. My chef's made my tea, he's taken care of everything, he's done all the cleaning, he's done all of that. That's all changed because he now is completely blind and can't work and is getting back to cooking a lot more, but still requires a lot of supervision, obviously. Gas, flames, hands, yeah, no worries about the knives. Professional chef, no worries about cutting his fingers off. It's more the flames and telling if things are actually cooked or not, like something's been in the oven, it needs eyes on it. So as opposed to me just sitting there and then eating my tea, which Lady Muck here used to do, is no longer what happens. So yeah, I have less stitchy time at home now. That's life. And on we go. So Sea Beacon is in my WIPGO. So ones in WIPGO are going that side. I've got a Q-snap in there, so that side is, and then the other side will be not. I've just done them in the WIPGO, in my whip parade. I'm not going to go back over the percentages and everything. Okay, my next project here is Jack Be Nimble. Jack Be Nimble is at 30.46. Well, it was, but I've already done 400 stitches into it this year. Jack Be Nimble is on a piece of 20 count, very over dyed Ada, and it is showing the colour is good. It's showing really true. So it's a long skinny piece. This is meant to be a big square. but it was 3 columns, so I saw it as a big long band sampler, and it's going to be big and long. That's a third of it, so it's going to be pretty much the full length of my fabric, and that's folded in half. I am using 2 strands on 20 count, so because it's white, it is showing. I wanted really good coverage. This is actually Karen Waterlily Opal, of which I have a spare. Karen Waterlily, and it is Opal. It's as white's going to get. It's got a tiny bit of pink, a tiny bit of lemon yellow. It's white. And somebody actually commented on, how brave of you to stitch in white. My stitches look terrible in white. Yes, so do mine. Look at my terrible stitches. You can't tell. As soon as you're away from it, yeah, a lot of my white stitches look awful. That's just white. Yeah. Anyway, back to my goals. I'm thinking 4,000. Obviously, having 4 focus pieces for the month, that's 16,000 stitches. That's probably about max for me, to be fair. I've then got my treasure hunt bookshelf, and which I haven't yet decided on a goal for that. We'll work that out in the next couple of weeks. I just need to keep on stitching on it. Very weird not stitching on it last thing before bed. Jack, be nimble. Where is it hiding? I've got them laid out in front of me, honestly. There he is. Jack, be nimble. That box. So, Jack, be nimble. There's my finished ones. And then WIPGO piece. Yes, you're WIPGOing. I've got my Four Seasons Girls. So let's find her. Autumn. Here, Four Seasons Girls. Autumn. Same box. Giveaway. Single floss drop, just like you've just seen on Jack Be Nimble. That's a whole skein of Karen Waterlily hanging off one of these. They are magnetised, so you can hang them off your work. They're really useful. I'm not saying I came up with the idea, but I made it up and made them to make my life easier, and found that they were really useful and sell them. So I did summer last year, and I already had winter and spring. So I need autumn to finish the piece completely. Last year it was a little over 4,000 stitches. Was it about 4,000 stitches to stitch one? So that's one goal, is to start and finish the autumn lady. Okay, just to give me some variety, so I'm not literally just stitching on long dogs, because I am literally stitching on longer dogs next year. Okay, I'm going to pull one out here at random. This is Dilemma. This is 36 count. It's like Fabric Flare, but it's Lakeside Needlecraft. It's 36 count. I'm doing it 1 strand over 2, so it comes out at 16 count, 1 strand of silk. This is a Karen Waterlily Pomegranate. One of the very few that is not my colourway, but I love it, and that's where I am. This is a paper pattern. I count my stitches, every stitch, but that's it. I would dearly love to get this frame done, because I'm not going to stitch the insides until I've stitched the frame. Yeah, stitching the frame. There's another one of my little floss drops. I think I've got that one as a giveaway. I'll put that in the box. There we go. Single bunny. He's smaller, but as you can see, he's a magnet. Needle minder too. Paper pattern, so I have needle minders on this one because they hold my paper pattern in place. When I finally get the frame done, because I'm making my frame bigger, it's meant to be a 9x9. Mine is a 4x. It's meant to be a 3x3 to make 9. Mine is a 4x4 to make 16, because she did 16 pictures. So obviously I had to do all 16 pictures. When I fill them in, I'll be using Mystic Pools, which is a dinky dye. Mystic Pools, absolutely lovely, very muted purple. Oh, I love it. Anyway, that's what I will eventually use. I've set myself the goal of actually finishing the frame first. So we've got Dilemma. There is Dilemma. Put it in that box. And with Dilemma, something completely different colour. Ooh, let's put in my Hawk Run Hollow, not Halloween, Shores of Hawk Run Hollow. And I need to do this year's block. Let's put a giveaway in. Let's make the giveaway Shores of Hawk Run Hollow. Do I have anything? Oh, this is quite springy. That feels spring to me. I've got a little spring bunny needle minder. These are a couple of years old now. You see, this is what I mean. I've got these sitting, a little bundle of these still sitting in stock with the magnets on them. So now I don't do that until I've sold them. Anyway, so this year I know exactly what I'm doing. I've got part threads. I am stitching the other half of the central block there. So back end of the ship. I think there might be something else there, like a compass or something. I'm not entirely sure. I've got the picture in here, we'll have a look. So 2026's block is the other half of the centre. Is that showing it in its entirety? There we go. I have a glorious Technicolor. I want to say monstrosity, but it's not, because it's beautiful. It's literally all the threads, just all the threads. What else is on that centre picture? Oh, there is this, an anchor. Yeah, I got this pattern from Arts and Designs, lovely online cross stitch place. Here, just up north from me actually, and there's a little compass and an anchor and the back half. So I've got that bit there to stitch in 2026. So that's cool. That's cool. So that's my goal for that. So aim for 4,000 stitches on my long dog, and whatever the goal is. Basically, I'm going to make my goals quite fluid. If they're heavy duty pieces that come up, I'll decide at the beginning of each month what I'm going to shoot for. And the only reason I'm going to set myself an arbitrary goal for it is so that I can say, I have met my goal. I can put my money in the box and I can give away the giveaway. That's the only reason I'm setting myself a goal. Because if I go, just stitch on it for one day and I put 300 stitches into it, to me that's not earned. I've not earned my reward by doing that. I need to stitch on it. Okay, next one. Ooh, Castles in the Air. Now this was in timeout for years. Castles in the Air is not very done. Castles in the Air is currently at 12.21%. Problem with Castles in the Air? It's tiny. This is 40 count, one strand of white. Not white. It is Quicksilver. Dinky Dye Quicksilver. It is the palest of pale greys, but it's silk and it's a treat and it's lovely, and this is really, really hard to stitch. I made so many mistakes. I can't tell you how many times I frogged out the bell. The bell is actually fluffy. Don't know if you can see, the bell is fluffy because I frogged it and cut threads in the end and just gave in. Anyway, I stitched on it a tiny bit last year, and I think took it from about these owls and up and found the top border. So I think 4,000 stitches into this. It's a 24,000 and I'm only at 3,000. So if I put in 4,000 stitches into this, that would be 7,000. It would more than double what's here at the moment, and I'd be really pleased. This is Lagoon, the straight 40 count Zweigart dye, and that is the colour it is. This colour is really good up here. Right now it's really good. It'll change because obviously the sun will go round, but there we go. Castles in the Air came out of timeout because I decided to stop being a baby, and in the intervening couple of years I've actually got much better at stitching. So what was unbelievably difficult, Castles in the Air, is now not quite so hard. That box for Castles in the Air, and to go with Castles in the Air we're going to have Night Walk Down. Night Walk Down. I've just shown it in my whip parade. Let's put Night Walk Down in there. Let's put a giveaway. Let's have that one. Oh, it's one of Lizzie's Little Mushroom. That might have been a Needle Minder of the Month club. That one. one of Lizzie's little mushrooms. It's like a pebble painting. It's polymer clay, so it's super light and it's really lovely. Anyway, that's in there. So she is currently here, and I don't know whether 4,000 stitches would finish her. I think it might. We might go for finish because it's currently there, and that's not, that is the corner. So I'm up to the corner on this side where all those threads have just fallen off. There we go. So that's more done than not, and I would truly like to get this finished. So we'll see. We'll see how we go, but I'll be stitching it with castles in the air, which is reasonably hard for me, long dog, unless stitching with my Lowry stand, and I'm going to get myself some slightly stronger, I don't use reading glasses yet, but for the 40 counts I'm finding reading glasses quite helpful, and I'm going to get myself some slightly stronger ones and just bite it. I get very motion sick, so as long as I stay very still I should be okay. So night walk down, there we go. We filled 4 of 24 boxes. Yes, half an hour in. Speed it up a bit. Okay, next long dog is Happily Ever After. This has had a dramatic change from last year. Happily Ever After is currently sitting at 49.42%, which is pretty good. And it currently looks like this. So what was going to be basically monochrome with purple has now got purple, pink, different purple, all sorts in it, navy blue, but I am chuckling along with this. I've literally just stitched on this, so if this comes up straight away, and by literally I mean there is a needle hanging there. So the purple was going to be this Aurifil 12 weight, which I found at my local stitchy shop. Looking for sulky 12 weight. They didn't have it, but they had Aurifil. It's slightly shinier, a bit less cottony than sulky. I mean, it's 100% cotton, it's Italian, but it's got more luster to it, and it fluffs. The end of the thread, can you see just there, it fluffs. So it's just a management issue. Just got to manage your fluffiness, really. So there we go. That is you Happily Ever After, which is there. Just put it in a box. And I'm going to have Cooking with Your Dragon in there. Cooking with Your Dragon. Cooking for Your Dragon. Going in the same box. And a giveaway, we're going to have a potion bottle needle minder. There we go. These are all my Halloweeny needle minders, only they're not listed yet, so on their own, which I don't know I need to do, but they'll be going into my proper Shopify when I get round to that. Who knows when I get round to that. So currently I haven't got them counted anywhere. They're just in a box, so I can pull from them. Cooking for Your Dragon looks like this. Another 4,000 stitches will add almost as much again. 4/5 of what's already here, because most of this was done last year, which would be very nice. It's going to be a story keep on this. Don't look there, I made a mistake. If I need to go over this bit, I will frog that out. That's where I started, and realised I'd gridded my fabrics into 11s and 9s instead of 10s. Don't do tired. Don't do it tired, everybody. Public service, don't grid when you're tired. So Cooking for Your Dragon is there. Okay, I need to put some of my big pieces on next. Okay, next long dog is this one here, which is is it Fish and Chips, or is it, I'll be able to tell, I hope. Oh crikey, I won't have written it down, will I? Oh, which one is it? It's an I don't know. That should belong to me. Oh no, I haven't written their names on yet. Right, I'm going to do this the easy way. Oh, no, I can do it. I can do it. Hang on, because this is the smaller of the two. This one is fish and chips. This one is fish and chips. So, not done very much of this one. This is currently at 11.41%. So that's pretty cool. This is on 18 count Ada. I dyed this Ada to match the Aurifil thread that is actually being used on this one here. This is Fishy Goings On. I am starting 2 more of these. So, yeah. Okay, so fish and chips. 14. That's a 14-inch frame there, and it fits perfectly. Some of these are beaded, some of it's stitching, some of it's beading. This one hasn't got any beading on it yet at all. So this is fish and chips. Keep saying it over and over again. There it is. Putting with fish and chips, we are going to have 324, which I started. 324, absolutely marvellous piece. There is its piece of cardboard in there with fish and chips. I'm going to put a little lizard scissor fob in there, little beaded lizard that Lizzie made. Let's pop him in there as a giveaway. It's currently here. I started this when Richard went into hospital, and I was going to do 1 block a day, and I lasted this many days and stopped, which I think's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 36. He was in hospital 30 days. So yeah, my life got slightly busier when he got out of hospital, obviously, because then he needed looking after a lot more. So 324 will get worked on in WIPGO, and I'm just going to work on that. I might set myself and say, see if I can get half of it done or something, I think. But I'll decide, as I say, I'll decide that at the beginning of each month. I'll decide what my goal for each piece is going to be. That is a non-full cut, that's a non-long dog. Next long dog may as well be Fishy Goings On, and then we'll do the other 2. Fishing Goings On is currently 23.44%. This kept coming up, and it also came up when I did Fishy Goings On. It also came up when I played the Great British Bake Off Stitchy game as well. So it did much better than the other one for stitching. Right, I'm going to put with this one. Where is it? I think it's, is it this one here? Yes, I'm going to put Bountiful Bookshelf in with Fishy Goings On, partly because I know Fishy Goings On I can rattle stitches into because I really love it. So where is it? Where is it? Bountiful Bookshelf is going in with Fishy Goings On. Let's put a giveaway in. We've got a little badger needle minder just there. Yeah. And this year I'm going to stitch and try and finish Aesop's Fables, just this one book here, because on this book, just this book, I'm going to use the standard colour pattern, which I've not deleted from my pattern keeper, thank goodness. The rest of it is going to be max colour, but because I've done so much of Aesop's Fables, I found out when I did a bit of Peter Pan that the underlying colours of the non-max colour are very different. Same picture, but really different. So I'm going to stitch this with the original pattern, and then I'll just mark the stitches off on the max colour. So there's my Bountiful Bookshelf. I'm just going to stop my video for a second because Flora just messaged I need to reply to her. Right, that's good. Okay, so I'm going to put in 2 of my new starts now because I've got these out. So the other half of this piece of beautiful fabric that's called Belladonna, that I was given, and I have no idea the dye or anything, but it is very hard, I've learned, to get colour this deep. This is a very, very purple fabric. It's inky. So I do appreciate the wonderfulness of this dye. It has bleached with the sun a little bit. You can see this corner here is quite light. Doesn't really affect my stitching, but I'm going to be much more careful with these because I just left this in the Q-snap. It was up on top, the sun has bleached it. So I'm going to be really careful with these. Now this one here, the one I use with this colour is going to be this bright pink Aurifil that I've bought. It's quite magenta-y actually. It is showing quite Barbie. It's not quite that Barbie. So what I need to do is get beads this colour, and I need to order more of the dark beads as well. The dark, this colour bead. I've already got the sewing thread in this, and I need to start when it comes up. And I'm going to stitch Fishing for Condiments with the pink. Fishing for Condiments here. So this is going to be on the dark with the pink, and I'm actually going to find a pen, and I'm going to write pink thread because it's a new start. And then the other one, which is Fisherman's Friend, I'm going to write purple thread. There we go. So Fishing for Condiments is going to be using the pink Aurifil. So I'm going to put that in there, and then that's going to be on the dark fabric with the pink thread and pink beads, which I'm yet to order. And then the other one is going to be on 18 count Aida. Here is the 18 count Aida. This 18 count Aida, when I start it, I hope it doesn't come up in January. I need to dye this colour, no problem. I think this is going to be my very pinkest dye with a little bit of purple and possibly a little bit of blue in it, just to tone the bright pink out of it, just enough to make it this colour. And then I'll use the dark blue sulky, the dark blue purple sulky that I'm using for fish and chips will be used on this, and that's the 4. So this is going to be the other one, which is Fisherman's Friends, and I'll have put a picture of the piece up for you there. So there's a job. So that's 2 of my new starts. So that's my first layer of boxes done. So Fishing for Condiments and Fisherman's Friends. So I need to get 2 non-long dogs. So we'll have Winter Fairy Tale, can go in one of them. It's this piece here, which I've been stitching really recently. 4,000 stitches into this will be heavenly to do. I adore this piece. Turns out it's very easy to stitch. I've got lots of the blue, and I might just knock my pan in and try and get all the 820, all the bright 820 done. So Winter Fairy Tale can go in there. And then I've got oh, I'm being selective again. Oh, Make-A-Wish. Tiny, tiny, tiny little start. Carolyn Manning Designs. I'm going to have to put a big picture up of it. I started this in December when I went on Carolyn Manning's website and ordered my mum a pattern for Christmas. And I couldn't resist this one because it looks a bit spangledy to me. So Make-A-Wish, again, that's going to be a straight 4,000 goal, I think. So that's those 2 in. And they need giveaways. Let's have a weird flying cow Irish stamp. Absolutely love those. And let's have whatever this is. Ooh, a Halloween bat with the chameleon mica powder. Can you see? It's orangey yellow there, and then it's pinky purple. That's actually magenta, matches me. Okay, there's my 2 giveaways in those 2 boxes. And onto the next layer. Okay, the next long dog samplers, I'm going to have Pandemic, Mrs. Sada's Silk Hydrangea on 40 count Picture This Plus Tidal. I was going for lacy tone on tone. This is very deliberate. This very pale tone on tone. Apart from that bit there that got bleached by the sun. The rest of it, as you can see, is very blue-purple, which is what it's meant to look like. But it does, the purple bleaches out of it very quickly, like in the space of a couple of days. So be mindful if you stitch with Mrs. Sage's silk and you hang your piece in bright sunlight. It will tone itself down to something else. Pandemic got a good whack this year. I found this end here. It's currently sitting at 22%. So 5,000 stitches into that will probably take it to 25-26%, which would be lovely. So pandemic there, into a box. Then let's have a non piece. Let's have, ooh, my Great Bear, Ursa Major, is Gecko Rouge kit that I barely started. Brand new last year. It's got a 300 stitch, barely start, just there. So lots of lovely stitches going into this, hopefully. I bought a 25 count kit, 25 count 2/1, and I've changed it to 20 count 1/1 because that is my sweet spot. It lives in its box. So that is the Great Bear. I've put it in. I need a giveaway. Let's have a leaf. A leaf with some dewdrops on it. That was a Needle Mine of the Month Club. I think some of my American people missed. This is when I could not post to America. I'm going to, when I sort my shit out, make a pack together of all the ones you missed, and I'll send out invoices, and if you'd like them, brilliant. If you don't like them, don't pay the invoices. You know, that's easy peasy. I can only post to America at the moment fully tracked, which makes the postage 3 times as much as it used to be, but you get fully tracked postage. So as long as I post 3 needle minders together, it's the same price with tracking. Bonus, yeah? We're going to go once every 3 months, I think. Three needle minders every 3 months as opposed to every month. And I dropped the ball in October, missed October, November and December, and we'll see if I can get back on track in January or February, or we'll just wait and see. We'll wait and see. Okay, so that's that done. Next long dog. Count Your Blessings, which is the super tiny. To me, when I started this, it was ridiculously super tiny. Now, 28 count 1/1 is ridiculous, but I'm stitching several of them. So here we go. Count Your Blessings. Full-size long dog is that big. It's so tiny. Count Your Blessings is currently at 35.05, so that'll be lovely. Let's get on with that. And the only thing I'm doing is, here is my my key for the border, because I've changed all my colours. I went at it with acrylic markers, and the only thing I'm doing different, obviously completely changing the colours, is this stag is being chased by 3 dogs. I am taking this piece of pattern and flipping it so that the stag is chasing the dogs instead. That's the only difference. And I need to try and not stitch 13 in the corner, because it was this is a 2013 pattern. So that'll get a good chunk of stitching. And let me find it. Count Your Blessings. And to go with Count Your Blessings, we will have my poor Modern Folk Embroidery Sal here. It spun in December and got missed, so I owe it some stitches. This is 40 count punch Be Stitch Me, and another one of my 2-thread floss drops, because it's a 2-colour piece. It's currently there, and yes, the fabric is this bright. It is. It's not showing bright, it is this bright, and I love it. And there's the rest of it. So I've got a good, for 2021 Sal, I've got a good chunk left to go. I'm January, February, March, April isn't finished, May is done, and that's it. But a good chunk of stitching into that will make it marvellous. One of my favourite project bags, because look at these stupid ferrets. Look at them wearing hats. Aren't they wonderful? That was just one fat quarter of that I had. There we go. Poor old Modern Folk Embroidery. I feel bad for the ones that got missed, but I ran out of time. I really did. So let's find Modern Folk Embroidery Sal, pop it in its box, and add a giveaway. Ooh, we're going to have a Halloweeny. A tentacle in a jar as a scissor fob or a zipper pull. You can do whatever you like with them. But it is a green tentacle in a jar of orange goo. Okay, next long dog sampler. My pile is getting smaller. Haha, Gone to Pieces. Most marvellous. Gone to Pieces is at 51.97% and looks like this. This is the same fabric, 36 count granite Lakeside Needlecraft. It's fabric flare, so it's printed, but it's an exclusive Lakeside Needlecraft. I really love this fabric. It's greeny grey rather than grey. One strand of various silks, changed my colours up, and 4,000 stitches into this, you say? Oh yes please. Yes please is the answer. It's one of my favourites. It's not my actual favourite at the moment. My actual favourite I'm hoping to finish this year. Okay, here's my threads. Lovely, lovely silks. Karen Water Lilies here and here and here and here. Oh, 3 Karen Water Lilies. They're Karen Water Lilies. 4 of them. 2 Dinky Dyes and Down Under Blues. My favourite blue is Down Under Blues. And we went on a bit of an epic hunt for this. I think 2 years ago now, but I have enough skeins of it now to placate myself. I think there's another 2 of these knocking around, so I've got enough. Anyway, count your blessings. Very, very happy. Not count your blessings. Gone to Pieces. I mean, you can count your blessings or you can go to pieces, really. You gotta love a long dog. You gotta love them. Okay. There we go. So, in with Gone to Pieces, I am going to put my Celtic Lady. Another piece I want to stitch on. I'm going for things I want to work on this year. My Celtic Lady got 5,000 stitches into her last year, and she is startlingly different to how she was, because 5,000 goes a very long way. Most of her skirt, the mauve down the middle of her skirt there, is done. That's all filled in, as is the goldy bits. Yeah, can't wait to get back to this. Yes. In a piece of, it is showing correctly. I'm sorry I dyed fabric that looked like this. I was going for Blossom. It turned out crazy, but I was going for Blossom. There we go. Yeah, I love it. It's 28 count Ugana. As I say, every time I pull it and show it, given my time again, I wouldn't stitch the skin 1 over 1. I would just trust the pattern. Absolutely would just trust the pattern. I'm beading it last of all, not doing the beads until the end. I've got a full kit up of all my threads, little bit on everything. I put a little bit of everything on there, and then I've got all my full skeins in there should I need more. I just don't want to cut them off my skein until I need them. I've got the Petite Treasure braid, I've got the beads, I've got everything really. So Celtic Lady is going in with Gone to Pieces, and we want a pretty needle. Oh, let's have the cat. Let's have the pumpkin cat. He is so cute. That can go in there as a giveaway. Okay, she goes there. Then we will have, ooh, my boxes are falling over. Right, I'm going to put some of my boxes away because they are falling over. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 8, 9, 10. Oh, 14 is the one without the knobble. Okay, that's better. Right, Death by Cross Stitch. I started it on my birthday. Gorgeous bag. I've put it in this bag. This bag had my Christmas piece in it. And now it's got this on it. And this is my only piece of XG Design fabric. It is bananas bright. And I'm going to stitch this in anything I want to. It's currently at 0.68%, so 4,000 stitches will really help it. There it currently is. This is going to be the border all the way around. This is a single small hank of Silks for You. Two different ladies both in New Zealand sent me little hanks, and some leftover of one of the ladies sent me leftover big hanks of Silks for You. So I've got myself in a tangle at the bottom. There we go. So this is on one of my single thread drops that doesn't have a magnet on it, but it should. It should, but it doesn't. Anyway, Death by Cross Stitch, 40 count. So the tiny stitches, tiny 20 count stitches. Again, need some magnification those. So Death by Cross Stitch. So that's quite a complicated piece, Death by Cross Stitch. So I'm going to put with Death by Cross Stitch City of Love, which is my Emma Congdon. Let's find it. I think it's in a bag. Do I think it's in a bag? I thought it was in a bag. Maybe it's not in a bag. Okay, where is it? It's a tiddly tiny little piece. Oh, there it is. This is on 22 count hardanger, and it is currently there. So love it. Love stitching on it. Easy peasy to do a chunk of stitching into City of Love. Let's put a needle minder in. Let's put an, I think this was April, bunny cookie. So a cookie needle minder with icing on it. Because they're both pretty, and that's a pretty needle minder. Then we've got You Belong to Me. Not my colourway. There's very few. This one here I started. Same lady that sent me the Silks for You, I think, sent me this fabric. I could be wrong. I could be right. I could be wrong. Anyway, I'm very, very grateful either way. I'm not sure now. Anyway, I'm stitching this, and it was a new start last year, just a tiny bit. This is 28 count, 1/1, so tiny. And it will look like this. I think I've probably put pictures up of most of them. And I'm stitching it in an array of olive green. Lots of olive greens. And eventually, when it's finished, in 40 years, I'll give it to Maddie. She's my Egyptian girl. She's always loved Egyptian stuff. So I'll give that to her eventually. You Belong to Me. With You Belong to Me, oh, I've got a strand of, is that silk? That feels like 550. That does not feel like silk. That feels like 550 DMC. I'm going to put Nutcracker. Hopefully Nutcracker's on my list. It is Nutcracker. 18 count, hard to see, tiny chart. I think Cosmo's vibrating. I can hear him over there. I can hear something. He's a big dollop, that cat now. He's asleep on the bed. The others have scarpered. Nutcracker. So a good chunk of stitches to go into Nutcracker will please me greatly. Just ruffle around for a needle minder. Let's have, oh, Nutcracker's Christmassy, and Aladdin. A stamp, a British stamp, Aladdin. Like that one very much. There we go. Okay, aha, the new normal, the new normal. Love this. Stitched quite a lot and restarted. And then my restart was on this beautiful piece of Aegean Stitch Me fabric. And oh, it's showing so well. This is really hard to photograph normally. And there we go. So that's where I am. It is at the new normal 37.5% currently, and I am doing extra stitches because I'm stitching in the Prancy Pony. I'm stitching it in reverse, so you were meant to stitch the little diamonds and the dots, and instead I'm stitching the horse minus the diamonds and the dots, so it's a turnaround. It's a little bit harder. Kim was saying that she's stitching a lot of her Templar Prophecy back to front, which is difficult. So mine's only a Prancy Pony and I've nearly finished it. Because he was disappeared, I couldn't see him, so I needed to stitch him in. This was simply going to be pinks and teals, but as you can see I've added in purple because of course I've added in purple. Anyway, I think I did match my project bag terribly well though. And I put all my threads on a very tiny little floss drop, but you can see my colours there with the added purples in the middle, which I added in, but mostly it's pinks. Mostly it's pinks and then the teals at that end, and then I've got 2 spools of shiny stuff as well. So the new normal, do adore it. Still hunting for that pink. To finish that bit there, I've still no idea what pink I used there. I'm going to have to just, it's a silk, but I'm going to have to just match a DMC to it or something because I've got no idea what I used and I can't find anything that's the same, which is silly really because everything I own is here and I can't find what it is. So it's lost time. I'm probably just going to match a DMC to it. The new normal. We're nearly there. I'm going to put with the new normal, what's my other ones here? Oh, my little, I know what I'm going to stitch that month. I'm going to stitch the Christmas terrarium and I'm going to try and start and finish that. I did start it in Flossmas. I will put a picture up. I started in Flossmas using my Flossmas colours and I can't find it right now, so it's currently AWOL somewhere. I want to stitch it using the original colours. So I'm going to start it again, stitch it using the original colours and be done with it. So that's what I'm going to do, which is fine. So that's gone in the box there. It's slightly Christmassy, so we'll have a Flossmas 2024, string of lights, needle minder. It's got its magnets on it and everything. Yay. Okay. We're going to get into the realm of the new ones quite soon because I'm running out of bags. Okay. Oh, this is a new one, but it's kitted. This is going to be Before I Sleep. Before I Sleep. And as you can see, I've got a piece of fabric in here that I have been sent. It's 36 count. It's big enough. It's big enough for Before I Sleep. It's called Artemis and it's Dire Unknown. No idea. No idea. 18 by 27 the size of it, and apparently Before I Sleep will fit on it. Because it's 36 count, I'll double check before I start. I'm going to use 1 strand of silk and over 2, and I am going to use one of my absolute favourites. It's Mother of Pearl Dinky Dye, of which I have 3 or 4 skeins knocking about. There's a brand new one there I've just bought. That one has been harvested. I think when I was finishing off my Renato Parolin Dia cushion, I ran very skinny and had to open, I literally for like the back stitch I had to open a new skein. I think that's why that's in a muddle. But Before I Sleep will be a new start when it spins, when it comes up, and it'll get 4,000 stitches. So Before I Sleep, I've put it in, and with Before I Sleep we are going to put in, let's find a piece of work, let's put in Ariel. Ariel. She is full coverage, Mandy Manzano, and she will eventually be that size and fill. She's 16 count, 2/2 DMC. This is a trust your process one because there are green. There's a lot of green in her skin. Her arm is basically moss colour. Her arm is green. Her arm looks great. And you're like, oh, her arm is green. Her face is green. And then when you get to about there, it starts to look like an arm. And when it's finished and it's on the wall, my goodness me, it's beautiful. She's got a lot of green in her arm. I'm trusting the process. Not for me to change. Anyway, chunk of stitches going into that. Then we've got not much left. A favourite? A favourite, anybody? It's at 80%. This is the one of the only ones I think might get finished this year. Pointed Fifth has got 14,000 stitches left to go. Am I going to be left with 10,000 stitches, or am I going to bust a gut on this? We'll see. I've technically got 2 years and a bit because I want to finish. This is one of my 1 in 4 to finish for Long Dog Leap Day. Instead of starting a new one, she says starting 12 new ones and a few more. I decided to try and finish 4 in 4 years. This is one of them. Here is my Pointed Fifth. Now, if you're new to me and you've not come across me before, I've totally been stitching this the whole time I've been floss tubing, and there is a video with the colours in it. There's a how I sorted out my Pointed Fifth video, and I explain very carefully what I'm doing because I'm blending. I go from one colour to the next with a blend, and I can show you that quite easily here, because look, there's my grid line, and that's one strand of this, one strand of this, and I blend them together for 3 or 4 rows, and that's the bottom. And I finished this, I think, since I've last pointed it out to you. I finished this one here. Anyway, my colourways are here. There. I'm missing a few because I've used them up, but luckily I did write the numbers on. And I'm going to use this, all of it, including these, as my colourway for Spangled, which I'll put in the next box actually because I'm talking about it, and I've got it here. But anyway, Pointed Fifth will have its stitches, and there are going to be other stitches put into them as well. It just depends how quickly I get with the programme with them all, really. Anyway, so there we go, and here's my colours, my threads. As I say, I am missing a few. I will load it back up so that I've got it for Spangled, and Spangled will sit with it. So Pointed Fifth. Oh, I need to get these out of here. Put a giveaway in there. Let's put the 2-hole pumpkin floss drop in with Before I Sleep. That's 17, 15, 16, that's 17 there. Right, okay, so Pointed Fifth, and I'm just going to run with Spangled. Put a picture up of it here. Spangled is going on this fabric here. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's Be Stitch Me Princess, and it is 16 count Ada, and it will fit on this. And I'm going to use these colours and an awful lot of navy blue. 823. I think I'm going to use 823 because I like it more than 939. It's bluer than 939. 939 is darker. So I think it's going to be 823 and a whole lot of blue. This piece of Princess, it's never been out of the bag, so I'm hoping it's going to be fairly even. There's going to be not much showing. At the end of the day, the fabric's not going to show very much. It's going to be a lot of other colour, which I need to load up because my turquoises are missing, and some of my pinks are missing here because I was colour completing. So, but I will use the lap brown colours because I did do I've got to put that down, I'm sorry. I did do these bits here were being used for birdies, which I have the pattern for, but I'm not currently stitching. I've started it, but I overcomplicated it for myself, so I stopped. Anyway, unless I have a look at my birdies fabric and maybe stitch spangled on birdies, I'm going to check that before it comes up. So spangled can go in there. Right, I need 2 non-full coverage, non-long dogs. Let's have Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. Can go in with spangled. Last year's block was the pumpkin patch. This year, I think I'm going to be doing the Headless Horseman, who is, I think, the second block here. This one, I think, is Headless Horseman. I have been stitching on this for 5 years. 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. And I'll be going into year 6. And I think it's going to be this block. If I'm wrong, it will be this block. And oh yeah, it is that one. Headless Horseman's this block here. And I have a kit up of threads, super neat. Threads there, threads there. If I can't find what I'm looking for, I'll just use something else. It's one of those. Anyway, love Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. That can have a Halloweeny giveaway. We'll put one of my noodle mice, my pumpkin mice, in there. Little pumpkin mouse. Here's a mouse. Here's a pumpkin. He is sitting on a hand. Here's a zipper pull or a scissor fob, however you like to think of them. And that's my giveaway for that box. Right, let's have another non-long dog. We'll have Renato Parolin's 4 Seasons trees. This is going on the list with a caveat, because I've seen another 4 Seasons trees pattern randomly on Etsy that I really like, but I'm going to find that and I'm going to look at it and then decide whether I'm going to carry on with Renato Parolin, Here is Winter, or not. That's my thought. There's the 4 trees. They're not very seasonal in my eyes. Yeah, I think that's got more to do with me making the colours different. Because the winter tree here, I think that's the winter. That's not the winter tree. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. Yeah, the winter tree is not very wintry. So I'm a bit torn with it. I'm going to have a look-see, but provisionally it will be a 4 Seasons tree piece that comes out with pointed fifth. I'm still pondering that. I'm not going to put it back away just yet because I've got the next one to do. And we'll put a great big spider needle minder in there. I love these. Even though it's that's one of the chunkiest of my needle minders, it's still very light. Okay. So the other non-long dog in the next box is going to be Kingdom of Books, because it's on the same fabric, so I may as well show it you while it's on my lap. I want to stitch on this again this year because I've loved it last year. That's where my Kingdom of Books is, from barely a start. 5,000 stitches, I think it got. No, I think it got 3-2 and 3-2. I think it got like 6.5 maybe thousand stitches. Anyway, it's really lovely. So they're both going in together there because they're on the same fabric. I'm going to look into the Seasons trees. I've got a few jobs to do yet, but I've got a whole year to do them in, unless they all spin up straight away. January, February. Right. Okay, we're nearly there. I've got 6 more boxes. Okay, my next long dog is going to be here, and it is Forbidden Fruit. Now this has been kind of in the naughty pile for a long time. I haven't really stitched on it. This is on Be Stitch Me Marine. This was going to be shades of blue and silver, and it's 40 count. Yes, so it's 1 strand over 2, making it 20 count crosses, and that's where it is, and it never got further than that. And it is at 6.7%, and I mostly stitched all of that, just about, when I went down on the train to Maddie to visit her in Cambridge when she was at uni. And that's all that screams to me, was sitting on the train waiting to leave Cambridge to head back to the main line to go back up to Newcastle that night. I was stitching on that. And I've not done very much, and it needs a good jump. It needs a good injection. It's not love at first sight. It's forbidden fruit. I did say, right, it's forbidden fruit. So we may as well bump straight into love at first sight, which I started yesterday. Love at first sight. Here it is. Now, I am stitching this on something very strange. It's synthetic. It's lemon yellow. It's a very big piece of fabric that got sent to me from a lady in America. I think a lady called Debbie sent it to me in a box of goodies. And it's very even, it's very big, and I think it is 28 count. And I'm going to use this is a leftover hank of Silks For You, and it's glorious. My only minor concern is that the yellow is a little bit lost. However, I've rolled off a ball of this, and I'm in two minds how much I colour control this. Now with my Pilgrim, I didn't colour control Mrs. Sadie's Darling at all, so it's green, it's turquoise, it's muddled together. And then sometimes I really did, and sometimes I really didn't, and I'm torn at the moment as to whether to colour control, because this is my start, and it's a rainbow. So I really should start the next bit with the red and rainbow it, but it's random because the wider you go, the smaller the... I think I'm just going to have to stitch it and go with it, aren't I? Because long dogs are too hard to do otherwise. Anyway, the fabric's massively bigger than I need, and I've cut it in half. But there is a tiny, tiny, like 58 stitch start of oh, I've got cramp in my thumb. That's helpful. My thumb wasn't working for a moment there. At love at first sight. So there we go. Tiny start. I'm currently stitching on it a little bit. Okay, love at first sight is in. I need something to go in there with it. Let's have Spirited Away, my yucky Tapestry Market Chinese kit, which I want out of morbid curiosity. I'm finishing. It's meant to look like that. That's what it currently looks like. But morbid curiosity is making me continue. I prefer the project bag to the actual piece inside it. But I'm going to continue. I want to finish one just to see how bad it is. So that's going in there. Spirited Away. I need 2 giveaways. Let's have two ghosties. No, I've got Haunted Hollow. I've still got a Halloween one. I've got Halloween Kitty, and I've got a translucent ghostie. Put them in there. 4 to go, and they're all brand news. So the next 2 are going to be stitched on this, which is 18 count Ivory Ada, and we have got Froth and Bubble 1 and Froth and Bubble 2. I'll put Froth and Bubble here and Froth and Bubble 2 here. I'm going to use the called for colours, and I'm going to start them when they roll. This piece of fabric is big enough to stitch them both side by side. So one will be on that bit and one will be on that bit. So we're big enough there to stitch them both. I hope. I will double check before I cut my fabric, because I will cut it and have one half for one and one half for the other, but going straight in with Ivory Eider, and I'm just stitching them as her colours because I've always loved them, and why not just get them going. So I'm going to put with them my Autumn Lane Stitchery, I'm reasonably sure. Haunted Hollow. This does show very bold. In real life this is slightly more muted than this, but it just is so bright and bold. Yeah, so Haunted Hollow. I started this with Adelaide for her birthday, for her orange fabric sale, and I'd like to do a chunk of it. So I'm going to put in there a pumpkin thread drop, floss drop, even though I've got one of my little felted bear floss drops, but he's going in there. And the other side is going to be Aphrodite. Aphrodite is here. She needs a lot of work. I have got the full kit up here for Aphrodite. I restarted her with a different colour dress this year. This fabric is called It's a Mystery. It is absolutely amazing. I just dropped a needle minder off there. Never mind. There is my start. My restart is her knee. This fabric really is this colour. And I'll have put a picture up of Aphrodite. She is lounging on a swan. I've changed her dress colour, and I'm probably not going to stitch as much of her hair, and I will change her hair to a darker tone of brown because it's for Lizzie. I wonder what needle minder fell. Oh well. That fell out of the pointed fifth though. So Aphrodite, which leaves me 4. And I have got Secret Admirer, which is here. And I think I'm going to stitch Secret Admirer in beads, just white beads. And I think, sorry about the bags, this Stitch Me lady needs to change her bags. I have got, these were both sent to me from a very lovely lady. I have got Lilith, which is bright magenta. It's actually almost the same colour as my top in real life. It is opalescent, it is 14 count, it is gorgeous. And I've also got Cobbler, and I stitched, oh goodness me, the chess one, Opening Gambit on Cobbler, but it was not opalescent Ada, it was ordinary Lugana, equally the same colour, absolutely brilliant, and I used 3808 on that. But for the white beads, I don't know whether I'm going, I think I'm going to use this one with white beads. I think. I might change my mind. Anyway, Secret Admirer is going on there. And then I'm going to put with that the key to get a chunk of stitches into the key, because I love the key. There we go. So there's the top half of the key. It's a Kirsten Mills Haid. This is standard size, standard colour. It's enormous because it is also 14 count. That's where I am with it. And last year I put my stitches in filling in the ivy here. So I might carry on and go down and fill in that bit, or I might go across and fill in the ivy there, or I might stitch somewhere completely differently on it, who knows. And my last long dog sampler is a complete new start. I have bought a piece of 40 count even weave, which is desperately fine. It's not going to be white. Have you seen any white fabric here apart from full coverage pieces? I don't think anything is white. I don't think I'm stitching anything on white apart from full coverages. on gridded. This is for pennants. Here is pennants. I have no idea yet what colour I'm going to dye this fabric. I've no idea what colour thread I'm going to use for pennants. I'm going to wait and see. So when pennant spins, I will decide, and I'll have to dye this fabric very quickly, but it takes an afternoon to dye and dry a fabric. So pennants is my last box, and it's going to be on this fabric, which will not be white. And my last non-long dog is the fantastical greenhouse, and I want to finish this. Full stop, I want to finish this. I have got this piece here to finish, and then I've got one whole release here to finish. So this is a Tiny Modernist. It was a Sal, it'll now be a full pattern you buy. Fantastical greenhouse. I started it last year in probably February. Definitely spent a lot of time stitching this in hospital. When it wasn't me in hospital, when I was with Richard in hospital. Certainly our 2-night stay in Sunderland when he had his first eye operation, I stitched on this. And that's what it reminds me of. But I want it finished, and I'd like it done, finished, framed. So that's WIPGOing. And it's in its custom frame because I've beaded the greenhouse. Shaping is beaded, and the words at the bottom, find your happy place, is yet to go. It goes to about there. That's also beaded, but that's, you'll probably see, and these are tiny size 15 beads, because this fabric is 36 count, so it's 18 count, so it's got tiny size 15 beads, but we love it. And that's it. I need 3 more giveaways. Let's have a dragon's eye that can go in with the key. Let's have a pretty beaded scissor fob that Lizzie made in with Aphrodite, and let's have a bunny single thread drop in with pennants. And that's it. That's it. All done. All done. So let's put my boxes away. 9, 13, 15. So I've got a year's worth of work here. And then all I'm going to do is show you what else I'm doing, because that isn't it. Of course it's never it. You didn't think this was it, did you? 22, 20, 21, 22. Putting my boxes in. That's 20, 24. So 21, 5, 16 and 23. So my WIPGO tree is loaded and ready for a year's stitching. It's ready to go. So I've got 2 prompts in each box. I've got a giveaway in each box. And then at the end of the year, between Christmas and New Year, in betwixt mucks, we will empty my tree and we'll see how much money we've got, like we did this year. That was the scariest thumbnail. I look almost evil on it. So, in addition to my WIPGO tree, which will pick me 4 focus projects for the month, I've also got my supersize max colour treasure hunt bookshelf, which I want to stitch several thousand stitches into a month. Not sure yet. It's not going to be 7. Should we just say 4? Should we just go with 4 each month? 4,000 stitches. So it's WIPGOing, but it's not WIPGOing. It's every month. It's every month thing. But that would give me just over 0.5% a month, which would be probably 7, maybe even 8% in the year. That'd be all right. It's on 36 at the moment. I'll put up the full-size picture that I've just taken of it. I'll put up the full-size picture of it finished, the mock-up, and then a full-size picture of where I currently am. I'm currently filling in a small 11 by 11 Q-snap shape, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing. In addition to that, I have got a pot system. I was going to do a tiny decisions wheel until I realised that putting 30 projects on a tiny decision wheel was going to be very cluttered. I also film on my phone, so I'd have to film that in advance every time. So I've got a tub with Scrabble letters, because I used to do Scrabble letters. I sometimes do still Scrabble letters to give away people's initials. So in my box here, I've got the X's, I've got the Q's, I've got the Z's, I've got the I's, the ones that I'm never going to use to give people, because not many people have names that start with I's. And I've numbered them 1 to, I think there's 29 in here. And then what we do, I get Richard to pull one out for me, and I put 400 stitches into that piece. I am on my second, hence why I started one of them. Hence why I started, oh, my book's downstairs. Hence why I started Love at First Sight? Yes, I think it's Love at First Sight. I started the other day. And I've got a list in the back of my everyday stitchy journal of what the number equates to. So just for example, my first pull out was number 6, and that was Jack Be Nimble. So 400 stitches went into Jack Be Nimble on the 1st of January. I'm on number 16 at the moment, which was Love at First Sight. So I started it, and I've nearly done 100, I think. Well, it's on like 60. So I have a few more to go. So we're going to go from this pot to this pot, and then we'll go from this pot back to this pot, and from this pot to this pot. And there's no time constraint. If I get stuck and I don't pick up my quick spin thing, my quick pick, a quick pick. If I don't pick up my quick pick for a week, I don't. If I do 400 stitches every day for a week, fantastic. I've gone through lots of chips. They go from here to here, so each one gets stitched on, and then we start again, and we'll see how many times we go through them through the year. But there's 29, I think, so we've got some extras here. There are extras. What are the extras? One of the extras is Santa Quill, which is not on my WIPGO. Santa Quill looks like this. Again, Quicksilver, dinky dye. There are beads in the hairs, in the Quakers. In the Quakers, there's beads in the middle, and that's where Santa Quill is. Santa Quill is at, not even on the bloody list. Oh, he's not on the list because he's not in Pattern Keeper. I've got him saved. I just need to import him into Pattern Keeper on my phone. So Santa Quill is not on the list. There is another gorgeous little piece called a Twee Hazen, which is not currently on the list. The Twee Hazen is here. I'm going to put it up. Twee Hazen will be stitched on this with something really pretty. Yet to be decided. I'm thinking pale purple, pale pink. I'll find something really pretty to stitch it with. And it's small, which is why it did. Basically, I ran out of space for my WIPGO tree. So he's not on WIPGO, but it'll be done 400 stitches at a time. Then we've got Figment. I'll put a picture of Figment up here, which Jules released just cause. And I love it, of course. And I've bought it. And yeah, I'm going to stitch that. There's also one that I haven't bought that I kind of forgot to buy, which is called Rollo and something, which was maybe Rudolph and Rollo. It was Christmas year before, so 24, I think. I'll put a picture up of this. This might well be put on the spin thing as well. On the, I've just forgotten what I called it, where I pick the chip out and correspond the number. And then there's 2 more which are not released that I am going to stitch, because I'm going to stitch them. And I'm going to flash them up nice and quick here. I'm going to stitch the birds that she put up as a a little quick, I just did a mock-up. It's not a pattern that's going to be released. Sorry, Jules. It's out there. I'm going to stitch it. And the Christmas from 2025, which I'm also going to stitch. So when they spin, I'll figure them out. I'll find a bit of fabric and I'll get going. I'll be stitching them monochrome, and I'll feel naughty the whole time I'm doing them because I know they are not released patterns. But most of them are part of other patterns, and if you release a mock-up, technically they can be stitched from them, so they're for me. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing. I've got my WIPGO counts, I've got my supersized treasure hunt bookshelf, I've got my 400 stitch from this box to that box to that box to this box, and anything else I see along the way that I want to start and want to stitch. So that's my 2026. It's predominantly long dogs with a little bit of something else just to keep me this side of sanity, I think, probably. And I've got a lot of things to get on with. To that end, I need to double check and see what I'm going to be stitching in January, because I need to get going. It's the 3rd and I've not done any of my WIPGO yet, and I'm getting a bit twitchy. So I'm just going to find out what the WIPGO calls were. 2 seconds. Right, it is 2 and 7. So let's pull out 2 and let's pull out 7. And I have got, so I have got, oh, I've just stitched on this. I've got Happily Ever After and Cooking for Your Dragon. See, I had to do it random. So I've got Happily Ever After and Cooking for Your Dragon. And I've got my Great Bear, which is my Gecko Rouge kit. And I've got Pandemic. So 2 and 7. Marvellous. Brilliant. There we go. I'm off. I'm going to go and stitch. Well, I'm going to go and put this blooming video together and then I'm going to stitch. Okay, so I need to find Pandemic. Here. Happily Ever After. Oh, mind the scrumply stuff. Happily Ever After is where? There's the Great Bear. There's my Great Bear. And I need Cooking for Your Dragon. It's hiding out somewhere here. Where is it hiding out? Cooking for Your Dragon. And I need Happily Ever After. Oh, and I've got some jobs to do. I've got some fabric to dye. Where is Happily Ever After? Where is Happily Ever After? Sure, it's here. I'm sure I've shown it. There it is. Happily Ever After's just there. So, 4 pieces. Let's go. Thanks for watching. This is longer than my WIP parade. I know that. And I will be back for a normal floss tube resumption very shortly. Not sure. A few days. I need to do some stitching first, don't I? Get my skates on. I've had a finish already this year, but it was one of my little extras, so I will show you that in my first proper floss tube in Saturday. What day did the year start on? Thursday. Wow, Thursday. I've just lost a pot full of coloured pencils. This big, but full of colouring pencils have just fallen. I've got some picking up to do. Right, I will see you very soon for a proper floss tube. Hope you've enjoyed my weird WIPGO loading game here. And I've got a lot of tidying up to do. Okay guys, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.